Okay, the Apple Vision Pro headset. I'm not a gadgets reviewer, but I have had the experience of wearing this thing. I got invited to New York a few weeks ago by Apple to put it on in this very fancy apartment. And I want to talk sort of about my personal experience wearing it and then the broader landscape that I think it sort of reflects. So, personal experience. You sit down, you put this thing on, and it is technologically really amazing. Like the experience of putting it on. It's a weird thing. It's heavy. It's got an extra battery pack. Like it's not a smooth experience. But once you've got it kind of adjusted and put on, it is really incredible. Like they had all kinds of demo stuff, you know, standing as if you were standing on a slack line with this athlete as she teeters over a chasm. You know, my palms sweat, but not as much, I would say, as the 3D family movies they showed, ones that are taken with the headset and then can be played back later. And they are very much like the sci-fi movies in which, you know, the bereaved character, Tom Cruise in Minority Report, you know, is mourning his lost wife by watching 3D videos of her. It's like that. You're sitting in this family's kitchen as a mom prepares a mom and dad's doing the dishes in the background. He's way back there, so you can see him in the distance. And then in the foreground is the kids, and this little, you know, glass of orange juice is there. And then she, the actress playing the mom, at one point she's doing her thing, and then she makes eye contact with you, with the camera for a second. She looks at the camera, and that for me was almost more startling than anything else. My visceral reaction to being kind of caught, you know, spotted like I'm a ghost who shouldn't be seen, and then I'm seen in this, you know, in this kitchen where I'm not supposed to be. I just remember thinking, wow, we are playing here with some fundamental human circuitry, social circuitry that we just haven't really sorted out yet. And so that was really amazing. And then they showed us demos of like movies that you could watch. And this was the crazy part. So you could watch Star Wars, for instance, and they are 3Ding Star Wars. But they also have an environment in which you can watch the movie. And the environment is like you're sitting, you know, in my case, I was sitting in a land speeder on Tatooine, and you look across the landscape and there's like two moons up there and the big crawler, what are they called? Not the Ewoks, the other ones, the scavengers, I can't remember. Anyway, but they've got the big tank kind of thing. It's over there as if you're all parked in kind of a drive-in movie. And then the movie pops up in front of you. But the thing I said to them, I was like, you're going to kill movies. Like, this thing is the least of what I'm interested in. I want to walk around in this environment. I am so much more interested in that than this silly drive-in screen, you know. And that was true for all these things. You could sit in the Avengers mansion, you could sit in all these different places and watch these movies. And I was so much more interested in like looking around the theater than the movie itself. So that's interesting. And then, you know, the idea that you're going to kind of interact with people was the weird one, right? So they have this thing in which the front of it is supposed to show other people whether you are engaged in the, you know, whether you're you know, working or talking to somebody. But in either case, you're seeing a simulation of someone's eyes when you see them. And that part was weird. The social stuff was weird. So for me, like the technological stuff, amazing. But the other big takeaway for me is that the rich are about to get really weird, way weirder. You know, people who can afford these things, I think, are going to be, there's going to be a lot of weirdness that I think emerges from people's experience of these things. There'll be some amazing other things too, but I did not feel more connected to the people around me at the end of this experience. I was very connected to what was going on in the headset, but the world around me I was not sort of connected to. So, and then, you know, the broader landscape that we're talking about here, right, is this, of course, is a company that's trying to achieve another transformational moment like it did with the original iPod, like it did with the iPhone, which has, you know, transformed our lives, right? The iPad, the watch, they need a new form factor, they feel they do. And this seems to be their sort of push to do that. You know, will we wear this thing with the little battery pack and the rest of it? I don't know. You know, like, does it feel, it doesn't feel to me like a source of connection maybe, but but the iPhone, is that really what the iPhone has done too, right? It created it was a platform on which all kinds of industries were built, social media not least among them, right? Can this be that as well? I don't really know, but I definitely felt like the circuitry, the human circuitry that was being played upon by this incredibly realistic experience for me means that we have crossed this threshold where these simulated experiences are going to feel very, very real and have the effects on us emotionally and psychologically and socially that a real experience would have. And that's going to be deployed for really amazing artistic purposes. It's going to be deployed for all kinds of educational and therapeutic purposes. Like, that will be amazing. But it's going to have a bunch of other effects as well. So, I don't know. Buckle up is how I feel about the whole thing.